Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Adeolua and I have a lot on my mind, but the first thing I would like to talk about is what seems to be like a reoccurring issue, especially with the US elections and the way it's played out, So I just felt that, let me just share my opinion on this one, or my insights and my observation. And what is that topic? Who is more African? Who deserves to be more African? Who can speak for Africans? Who has the authority? What makes you African or black enough to speak on African issues, to deliberate on African issues, to make decisions for Africans, or to be accepted by Africans? So I'm not going to go political at the moment, like this might take a while. No, not on this particular video. I will try to be as brief as possible so as not to bore you. But I want to start from where I think is the basics, like from relationships, because that is where what the world evolves around, what makes the world still alive, relationships, and we know how, despite the fact that we're all like, oh, I'm a loner, I'm on my own, I do my thing my own way, my own rules, yada yada yada. When we're all told to stay in our homes to avoid being infected by COVID, we were, a lot of us were biting, we're fighting back. We didn't like it. And I'm like, hey, what's up with that? I thought everybody wanted to be on their own, doing their own thing and not caring what the other person has to say. This time around, you get to do that in your own house. You don't have to, nobody has to see what you're doing, hear what you're saying, unless they want to hear it. But no, people didn't like that. So sometimes I don't get people, I don't get us people, I mean, if we were a truly communal world, yes, I understand that. But the moment you disagree with someone over something, they just get all, up in your face, like, this is my life, I can do what I want with it. Okay, so you can do what you want with your life indoors, and that is also an issue again. Anyway, before I digress too much into that, who is more African? So I'm starting from the relationship aspect. Now, who is more African in the sense that, can a person a woman or a man who is dating outside her race or outside her skin classification, let's just put it that way, is either out of your race or outside your skin classification, meaning someone that is not as dark as you are, so can you still be considered black by some very outspoken people in the black community? Not really. If you're dating outside your race, you're dating outside your color classification, you're seen as a traitor of some sorts. And I want to mention Dr. Omar Johnson. I respect his views. Like, the man is very intelligent. He might have his flaws, as some people would always point out, but I'm not going to go into that. I'm not really interested in his flaws. But I mean, by the time he's speaking, I don't even remember if he has flaws or not. I mean, so we all are on a journey. At least some of us are on a journey of becoming better anyway. So, but he said something that really, really got me. And I agree with him to a certain extent on that. He did say that he cannot respect a black man that marries a woman that isn't black, because that is like investing in another race, when in actual fact, the black race is not as developed as they ought to, and a man will be focused on the woman he's with, and he would not really have time to really invest in his heritage, so to speak. So to that, I understand where he's coming from. However, off of that topic, there are also some other group of black people or Africans who, when you date outside your race, it's like you're a traitor because they see you as we're not enough to go round already. And here you are bringing in a stranger or being a sellout. Sometimes you are accused of having a colonialist mentality or having a slavery mentality. Nobody really wants to consider that there is love involved, so it's neither here nor there. It's not some people on their own, it's the colonialist mentality for them, and you can tell by the words they use, the way they describe, especially the black men. I'm sorry to say, the black men, they are the ones who are mostly at fault here, because I don't know many black women who would just decide that they want to marry or date a man that is not of their skin color. If a girl's first love is her father, right? When it comes to a man, that's her first love, her father, right? And most of the time, you have a lot of black girls that have black dads, right? They have black dads. Do you get? So no matter how bad the relationship may be between daughter and father or father to daughter, they will still gravitate towards someone that has the kind of skin color, the kind of intonation. They'll still gravitate towards someone who is similar to their father, right? They will still find that attractive in a way, either because they've seen a good example or they want to believe that not all men are like their fathers in the negative way that their father might have been. So you don't find many black women wake up one morning, or African women wake up one morning and say, guess what? I want to go and marry or date a black man, or a white man rather. It's not common, but, and I said in one of my videos, either in this one or in another channel, where I was talking about how black men are being hard on black women. When you have the black men, so to speak, when you have them disrespect you, the men in your race, they disrespect you, they talk about you anyhow. When it comes to the word bitch, I don't even like to say it, it's distasteful in itself. When they use all the B words, the nasty words, it is usually to describe a black woman. They don't use those words with white women. And I love my sisters across board, beyond skin class and race and all of that. As long as you're a good person, as long as you're trying to do the right thing, you're my sister, you're my brother, you're my family. That's how I feel. Whether your eye color is different or whether your skin color is different, you understand? So that's how I reason. However, I see the black men who do this more. They date outside their race, not because they fell in love with the woman, which might be true on some levels, but because they had made up their minds that they were not going to be with a black woman because they felt she was not classy enough. They will be the first one to describe a black woman as loud. They will be the first one to describe a black woman as brash. They will be the first one to describe a black woman as ugly. They'll be the first one to call us all sorts of names, not having fashion, whatever, not having class, not being classy, not being elegant. They'll be the first one to accuse, to talk about us. In fact, they even make money out of it. Some of the rappers, they would talk down and just I don't know. I don't think we ever exhaust that topic, and I feel like I just feel tired whenever I think of black men being like that. Not all of them. Some of them would stand up for a black woman and say, you cannot talk to a black woman like that. That's a man who doesn't have a slavery mentality. Like he's mentally free. is emotionally liberated, as it were, or freedom has entered into his psyche, so he does not hate himself. Because if we are to go by creation of God, God's creation in the Bible, where a woman was a man's rib, Adam's rib was taken to create Eve, and that is how we had our first woman. If we are to go by that, if you can make that as an illustration of how a black man thinks of a black woman, a lot of times, what that goes to show is that a black man hates himself. Any black man that talks badly, that talks trashy, that talks disrespectfully about women, especially black women, is a man that hates himself, and I already see that, so I'm not even upset. I don't even have time to feel insulted. Like, how dare he talk about black women like that? I don't like. I'm thinking like, wow, this man is still in bondage. You know what I mean? I remember one not too funny video. I only watched it for like a few minutes. A YouTuber, actually, I think it's I Am Eloho. Yes, I Am Eloho. Eloho from I Am Eloho said she depicted that in one of her videos, and this man was describing women in black women, about them having fat noses or flat noses, the black skin, the way he said black as if it was some dirty something, and Eloho made an observation that I made myself. Actually, the guy was practically describing himself. He had in an African nose, let me put it that way, an African nose, which is not tiny or aquiline. Okay, it can be considered a bit fat, a bit not, yeah, right. I mean, all he was saying, I was just looking at him like, you're describing yourself. Are you sure you're not describing yourself here? And technically he was describing himself, I mean, let me just say this is the intro, because I've not really delved into who is more black, who is more African. But I would just say this, to cap this particular segment off. The person I believe is more black and who is more African is somebody who has accepted his or herself, those who have accepted their skin color the way it is. They're not trying to change it. They're not trying to upgrade it, whatever that means. They're just taking care of their skin the way it is. They love their skin the way it is. They love their heritage. They're not ashamed of being black. They're not afraid of being black. They're not ashamed of being black. They're not afraid of being African. They're not even thinking about it, until someone mentions it. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm African. Well, what about it? They're not self-conscious about their skin classification, their skin color. They're not self-conscious about their hair texture, right? They're not self-conscious about those things. They celebrate it. It's not easy, of course, to, look different from a people that had been an oppressor at some point. But, when you love, you love. And so when you love yourself and you love yourself. Let's just put it that way. You love yourself. You're not trying to change anything about yourself, and to put it rather succinctly, okay, my hair is not as done as I want it to be, but this is my hair in its glory, okay? So I just hadn't had the time to, redo my hair. This is my own attempt of flat twists, and it didn't exactly pan out well. You understand? So, I mean, maybe I shouldn't even cover it again. So, yeah, this is my hair. Okay, I love it. I appreciate it. I'm thankful to God for it, because I look at it, I'm like, look, some people do not have hair, and here I am, I have hair. Do you understand? Yes, the texture is different, it's unique, it has its unique needs, but it is what God has given me, and I love it. I appreciate it. I'm asking for a strategy on how to make it beautiful, because I believe that everything and everyone has the potential to be beautiful in their own way. You don't have to be the famous beauty. Do you understand? You don't have to. Once you think you're beautiful, that's what there is to be, right? So as long as you accept that you're African, you're not trying to lord your race or your color over other people, right? You anything that is not naturally yours, you don't go for it. So I'm a bit bothered about African, especially African black women who use non-African names. Like, they could pick names, but they go for non-African names, and they don't stay on their lane. They attack a white person for defending a black person, and I'm like, what is going on here? Like, people need to heal. Do you understand? And I don't like people who call themselves grown people behaving worse than children, throwing tantrums all over social media, when you should be using your influence to change lives and to inspire people. You understand? You know that you have people following you. You know that you have young girls who might want to be like you. Why don't you be an example of being real, right? By working on your own real hair instead of wearing bone straight colored hair. Like what on earth? And then instead, when you now have someone who has the hair, the fake hair, forgive me, but it's fake. When you have someone wearing a fake hair you're wearing on your head that has it naturally, defending you, your race, you light on them and start to, like, this is going to take a while, but let me just try to stop here. Okay. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, click on the notification bell to see more updates, because we are so not done on this topic. Like, we are not done at all, so stay safe, stay healthy, take your natural immune boosters, max up when you're going out, use your hand sanitizers, be careful, maintain social distancing. Okay, maintain social distancing until there is a cure, like a universal cure, which, well, we just hope some people who want to profit from this whole debacle will not have a chance to prevent that, But until then, just take the precautions, all right? And love yourself enough to live a healthy lifestyle. Be yourself. Don't find who you are. That's just it. Find who you are, accept who you are, and improve on who you are. All right? Stay safe, stay blessed, and shalom. See you next time.